Here we go for an interesting journey into the extraordinary world of fashion and its immense impact. Our channel Think BRICS is the right place to learn about BRICS and everything about it, because we cover not only the basics but also some cool alternative topics. So stay tuned and let's dive with us into the lucrative world of fashion that could represent a new frontier for the BRICS coalition. This was evident at the BRICS inaugural BRICS Fashion Summit held in Moscow a few days ago. We attended this summit to bring you all the juicy updates and news. We can assure that it was a big deal for countries in the global south as they came together to address industry challenges and its sustainability concerns. It has been great to see how discussions on balancing commercial growth with ethical practices in the fast fashion world have been made easier. These conversations have led to initiatives for a more sustainable future and raised an important question. Can the BRICS achieve both profit and principles? It's definitely not an easy task, but there is hope. The conversation is ongoing and the outlook is looking positive. So follow us all the way to better understand the BRICS vision of a sector that is rich and prosperous, but also full of contradictions that need to be addressed and resolved. Let's take a quick look at the state of the fashion industry in the BRICS countries. The BRICS alliance has historically prioritized sectors like energy, technology, and food security, recognizing the potential for significant impact in these crucial industries. However, the recent BRICS Fashion Summit held in Moscow suggests a new frontier for this global coalition, the world of fashion. The fashion industry is a powerful force contributing a substantial 2% to global GDP and representing a significant portion of the economy. By venturing into this sector, the BRICS alliance could tap into new opportunities for growth and influence. Behind the glamour of fashion shows, a vast network operates, encompassing everything from material sourcing and design to logistics and marketing. This extensive ecosystem is driven by a huge and diverse workforce that includes farmers, factory employees, models, and social media influencers, all contributing to the fashion industry's dynamic operation. The fashion industry has evolved significantly, with fast fashion revolutionizing the market by rapidly producing affordable, trendy clothing. This shift has democratized fashion access, but it comes with considerable downsides. The accelerated production cycle often relies on labor exploitation and results in substantial environmental harm due to increased waste and pollution. It's even crucial to recognize that this industry has a significant impact on job creation, which in turn affects both the economy and workforce dynamics. Fashion, once limited to the elite, is now becoming more inclusive. Previously dominated by fashion capitals like Paris and New York, other countries are now asserting their influence as producers, consumers, and tastemakers. Fashion weeks are popping up in previously disconnected places like Cairo, Mexico City, and Nigeria. Additionally, with the rise of e-commerce, influencer culture, and social media, trends spread rapidly through viral means rather than being dictated from above. Fashion populism is on the rise as everyday people and developing countries assert themselves in the industry. Countries like China, India, and Bangladesh bring immense creative potential to the table with their artisan traditions. Additionally, as these developing economies expand their middle classes, a new consumer base emerges that seeks affordable fashion and self-expression. So, what role can BRICS and BRICS Plus play amidst this fashion democratization? With their manufacturing capacity, cultural heritage, and swelling consumer markets, they have rich resources to harness. But will sustainability get lost in the commercial scramble? Can innovative solutions help reconcile these tensions? Lots of open questions as the axis of influence spins dynamically. BRICS Plus nations are already playing a crucial role in the fashion industry, with China's fashion revenue reaching $314 billion and India and Russia exceeding $100 billion in 2023. The growth rates in these countries range from 3 to 5% annually. Women's clothing is the largest segment, with the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia spending over $1,000 per capita, 4 times more than India or Iran. 99% of clothing bought in these economies is non-luxury, yet the demand for sustainable products is rising. China's 2022 clothing exports were $182 billion, 31.6% of the global market. When it comes to global fashion markets, India and China stand shoulder to shoulder with heavyweights like the United States and Japan. And we can't forget about Bangladesh, a major player in apparel exportation. But numbers are increasing years after year, even in Brazil, South Africa, and Ethiopia. It became clear that these BRICS countries hold immense sway in shaping the fashion industry worldwide. But the influence of BRICS nations in the fashion industry is currently limited, especially in terms of trend setting and brand development. The global market is mostly dominated by a few well-established brands. According to the United Nations Industrial Development Organization data, a small number of global brands control a significant portion of the fashion sector, representing less than 3% of all labels but accounting for around 50% of global sales. While there may be limitations, it is important to acknowledge the significant role that BRICS countries play in the industry. Recent events suggest that there could be potential changes or advancements in this area, such as what happened in Russia recently, where prominent international fashion giants like Zara and Prada have pulled out of the Russian market due to sanctions. The void left by major international corporations has created an opportunity for local brands in Russia. With limited competition, these brands have thrived and capitalized on the growing domestic demand. As a result, there has been a significant increase in apparel and home textile manufacturing in the Moscow region, as reported by Moscow's government. Fashion, which combines formidable cultural influence, economic clout, and global importance, is a growing sector for the BRICS to explore. This collective approach promises significant economic opportunities, job growth, and enhanced cultural diplomacy. During COP28 in Dubai, the BRICS countries' commitment to environmental stewardship was highlighted. This commitment is particularly relevant to the fashion industry, which is known for its negative impact on the environment. Urgent action is needed to address the sustainability issues of this highly polluting industry. The BRICS Plus Fashion Summit in Moscow focused on environmental awareness, bringing together more than 60 countries to highlight problems and propose solutions. We personally attended several events focused on sustainability. Highlighting the importance of sustainability, the summit stressed the need to address the environmental impact of the fashion industry. Combining traditional techniques and innovative technologies, the key players at the event believe that transformative and ethical approaches can shape the future of fashion with support from the BRICS countries. However, it is critical to recognize that there are significant challenges ahead. Let's give you some astonishing numbers about the impact of fashion industry on our environment, and maybe you will think twice before trash your next t-shirt. 92 million tons of textile waste is generated each year, which is projected to reach 134 million tons by 2030 if action is not taken now. Did you know that the average consumer in the United States throws away about 81 kilograms of clothing each year? This staggering figure contributes to a larger problem of textile waste, with an estimated 11.3 million tons sent to landfills in America alone. Remarkably, this accounts for about 85% of all textiles. This overconsumption carries heavy environmental costs. Dyeing and production are responsible for 20% of fashion's emissions and 20% of global wastewater. Cotton requires 20,000 liters of water per kilo. While this figure is hard to imagine, suffice it to say that it takes about 2,700 liters of water to produce a single t-shirt, enough for one person for 900 days. Washing machines exacerbate ocean pollution caused by microplastics. Despite growing environmental awareness among consumers, recycling rates languish at 12% due to difficulties with synthetic blends and cost disincentives. The vast majority of clothing, after an extremely short use, contribute to environmental problems such as landfill overflow and increased carbon emissions from incineration. The fast fashion industry is a significant contributor to these issues. The importation of textile waste from Europe to Africa alone exceeds 1.7 million tons each year, underscoring the pressing need for collaborative action among BRICS countries. As major apparel producers and consumer markets, BRICS Plus nations are at a critical juncture where urgent measures are required to bring about positive change. The BRICS Fashion Summit stimulated dialogue on sustainability and business growth, but many questions remain to be answered. Is it possible to shift the mindset of quantity to quality? Can zero-waste, closed-loop production overcome the relentless pace of fast fashion? Will politicians incentivize eco-ethical practices, or will consumers vote with sustainable wallets? Influencers and the media as arbiters of taste have the unique power to change behavior by making sustainability an aspiration, going beyond product enhancement and highlighting circular patterns and conscious use for everyday shoppers. Information can foster responsible purchasing based on ethics, not just price. But intentions must match actions. While marketers spread empty green messaging, transparency and integrity are important. Multinational corporations must back up the words with investments in renewable energy and circular materials. By partnering with nonprofits, the impact can be amplified. Addressing the intricate fashion ecosystem requires BRICS collaboration embodied by the summit, involving more than 60 countries representing nearly two-thirds of the world's population, succeeded in spreading the message of sustainability around the globe. Believing that a sustainable, ethical and prosperous future for fashion is within reach, the BRICS must steadfastly address labor and environmental issues in a coordinated manner. Their collective strength has the power to reshape global fashion for the better. The summit underscored the immense importance of cultural sensitivity and inclusiveness in fashion design, issuing a clear call to renounce appropriation and to understand, celebrate, and respectfully represent diverse cultures accurately. This shift marks a new chapter. The BRICS countries, which previously focused on global mineral resources, now embark on an exploratory journey into the consumer economy. The shift to fashion represents a bold challenge to the traditional Western dominance of this emotionally charged and deeply saturated sector. Much of the dialogue at the summit focused on a revolutionary concept of a unified BRICS fashion product market. By combining China's current market stronghold with other emerging economies, the result could catalyze a seismic trade boom that would rival or eclipse established fashion capitals. As this world fashion order unfolds, a shift from east to south pushes Beijing, Mumbai, Moscow, Cape Town, and rising Dubai to compete with traditional power centers. The expansion of the BRICS portends an exciting reshaping of the global fashion landscape. The road ahead has many forks, but the destination is clear: a fashion ecosystem that is restorative and renewable by design. If we balance people, profit, and environmental health, there need not be trade-offs. Our clothing can protect unique cultures, identities, and our shared planet too. Technology expanding access and representation is democratizing fashion in progressive ways. Yet sensitivity towards diversity remains a blind spot, as seen in Zara's controversial Gaza evocative campaign. The current art campaign controversy, titled "The Jacket," intended to showcase garment versatility. However, social media users reacted strongly, with images of models carrying cloth-covered mannequins evoking similarities to Islamic burial customs and maps of Gaza. Critics accused Zara of exploiting tragic, real-world events faced by Palestinians for marketing purposes, citing a lack of humanity and sensitivity. This situation highlights the high-stakes intersection of fashion, politics, and corporate social responsibility. As a major fast fashion brand, Zara must weigh ethical considerations while maintaining its commercial image, two spheres often in tension. Consumers increasingly demand accountability when brands appear obvious towards sensitive geopolitical issues involving human rights injustices and loss of civilian lives. The outcry shows fashion cannot ignore these contexts, even inadvertently, without backlash. This incident is not Zara's first misstep related to the Israel-Palestine conflict. In October 2022, a boycott was initiated against Zara after its franchise holder in Israel voiced support for the extremist Otzma Yehudit political party, leading to significant financial losses for Zara in occupied territories. What error in human judgment allowed such violently nuanced images to be used as a sales strategy? Brand values must also manifest themselves in thoughtful creative decisions. So, where lies the new fashion ethic? Perhaps in shedding the singular stereotypic vision of beauty while welcoming uniqueness of spirit and form. Perhaps in pursuing commerce and sustainability with equal conviction through eco-innovation. This evolution is especially pertinent in BRICS Plus nations known for their cultural richness and manufacturing strengths. They can lead this ethical transformation by aligning innovation policies, corporate practices, and consumer support for sustainability. The path forward is clear: fashion that harmonizes business, social welfare, and ecological health, transcending mere trends to embody care for communities and the environment. This vision of an eco-conscious, culturally respectful fashion industry is not just idealistic. It is achievable with collective effort and innovative thinking. And what about you? What's your thoughts about this topic? Please comment and let the discussion going. And if you found this video useful, like it and share it. If you are new here at Think BRICS, subscribe for new insights about the BRICS world. You can find lots of daily news on our social media. As usual, we invite you to stay curious and stay with us. Thanks for watching.